Welcome back to the pod, everybody. I'm your host, Alex Dragovich. Join with me today, everyone's favorite Italian, Mike Recine. How do you like that title, Mike?
It's good to be here. Yeah, I guess that's true.
Do you think? Yeah, I think you're my favorite Italian. I think.
Thanks.
Has anyone ever told you that before?
No, I don't really.
Okay. Yeah, it's like, I guess.
I actually am trying to. I do try to like set myself apart from other Italians.
Okay.
I feel like there's been like a renaissance of Italians on TikTok, and it's very embarrassing.
What's going on? I haven't seen.
They're doing like sandwich reviews, and they have their podcast.
Where they're like,
they're like, what do you like better, ziti or macaroni? And that's like the whole. I'm like, is this the whole show?
Yeah, that's their.
Like, these people should be like slaves. These people should be.
They should be making phones. They should be making the iPhones.
They should be shipped over to China making iPhones.
Like the Long Island Italians. Should be making what is it, in the cobalt mines? Isn't that what it is?
They should be in the cobalt mines, and their boss should be a 5-year-old kid telling them what to do.
Yeah, because
he's really riding my ass today.
Because it's all the same. They're not differentiating.
Getting whipped by a little Chinese kid.
That's what they're. That would be nice. I would like to see it. Yeah, the Italian. I didn't really notice it as much in Chicago. How annoying an Italian could be.
I think maybe it's like the East Coast thing. There's too much.
Dude, it's intense.
Yeah,
it's intense because you don't really notice. Yeah, it's like Long Island, Jersey.
Yeah.
And it's
and actually I read something really interesting recently. You know Theodore Herzl, he's like the founder of Zionism.
Okay.
And so he wrote this whole thing about how like he was trying to distinguish himself from like other Jews.
Sure.
And he was trying to say that like I'm a real Jew and these other Jews are like beneath me.
Okay.
Because he was trying to start this political movement to give like Jewish people a state, like their own state. So he was like, yeah, like he was comparing. He was talking about like Jews are like this, and then he had a term for the Jews that he didn't like. It was called like Mauschel or something. And he was like, the Jew is like honorable, and he gives charity, and he's like, and this other guy is just a scurrying little rat, scumbag.
Just anyone. It was just anyone else, or the other Jew.
It was the other types of Jews.
Jesus
Christ, He was trying to like distinguish himself from other Jews. He was trying to create like a new identity of Jewish people, and I guess he like really didn't like. He was probably writing about like one guy, you know.
Yeah, no, I'm not as like well versed in that kind of history, but
it's just interesting to be like, these people I'm better than them, because I feel that way a little bit about the kind of Italian that I am.
Do you do you feel like you're kind of like a reformed Italian then?
I think I try to be like reformed Italian.
Yeah, like when people talk about that's like when people talk about Mormons, they're like you did that, and you're like I did. You're like I got out.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I feel like I want to get out.
Like so, like
I want to get out of life. I'm like an apostate or something.
Like in terms of like the kind of house that you want your kid to grow up in. What kind of is there like Italian things that you want him to have, and then Italian things that you don't want him to have?
I can't think of any, but maybe just like we'll watch like some movies.
Like The Godfather? Not The Godfather yet. But
like Goodfellas. Yeah. Like, I don't know. Like, I think like Scorsese is an example of like the type of Italian that I want to be. But he makes movies about like everything.
Do you want, is there like a...
He doesn't sit on his podcast week after week and go, do you like, actually I think Mortadella is kind of an underrated cold cut, bro. It just disgusts me so much.
It's all the same, but you like to cook. You like to like you'll make an Italian.
I do, but
dish.
I'm a little like over it.
Okay, So are you onto a new thing?
I'm onto a new thing. I think I'm all about like chicken and rice and vegetables now. I'm trying to
be healthier.
I'm trying to be healthier. Yeah.
I'm sure your wife probably enjoyed the cooking side of you.
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
When it was going on.
Yeah.
And this was actually one of my early questions for you was. Because, I think our listeners are around probably late 20s, early 30s, I hope. If you're in college listening to this, get a life, please. Go out and do something. But do you have any advice for dads or new dads? Do you have any like hard, concrete dad advice for some younger guys?
Yeah, I guess just that like it gets hard and then it gets easy out of nowhere. It's really easy and then it's really hard and then it's like easy again and then it's hard again.
So just kind of like,
So if you're like going through a rough patch, just like
if you're going through hell, keep going.
hang in there. Yeah,
Just hang in there, bud.
it's gonna get better, but then it's gonna get worse again. It's like always.
If a guy, you know, if one of your friends says like, "Hey, like we're having a baby," your initial reaction is, "Hang in there, man."
No, I go like, "Oh, that's great. You're gonna love it," and they are like, you are. It's true. You are gonna love it. It's like there's great,
Yeah.
there's great little like moments along the way, but a lot of it is,
Do you feel like as a childless guy, do you feel like you've lived a life now? Like there are just things about life that I'm totally not privy to, or that I haven't.
I mean, not really. I like chose to have kids.
Sure.
I'm envious that you get to like see movies and stuff.
I could just do stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can like, if I want to like take some like shitty road gig for not enough money, I can kind of just
I can
go do that.
And I take those road gigs too because I need the money. But I pray that I don't. I pray that I don't eat shit.
Yeah, I just feel like it's
because I did one recently and the guy was like, "All right, I'll Venmo you, X amount of dollars."
Yeah,
and I said, "Jesus Christ, that's all I made." I'll write. I would write it down. I don't want to like I would write it. I'll write it down for you.
Do you when your wife asks you how much you made, do you lie about it?
She does. Actually, she kind of doesn't.
That's
we
great.
We don't talk that much.
That's good.
Yeah, we're just kind of like we wake up in the morning and it's like go go go. I don't tell her about my problems. She doesn't want to hear about them anyway.
Right. When does that end?
What's that?
The love. No, when does the like when do you go from like partners to like romantic partners to kind of like teammates essentially in a marriage? Is that kind of, at least that's what I'm gathering.
Yeah, I mean, I guess definitely after you have kids, we're a little different. Like, I don't know, she like sleeps in my son's bed.
Okay.
So we're like, yeah.
I think my aunt did that with my niece.
And I guess it's just easier when you're putting the kid to bed because it's like you like lay in bed with him and then he falls asleep and you fall asleep.
Sure.
Oh
yeah, that's gotta be. Is there things about your son already, some traits where you're already like, I already know what kind of man you're gonna be just by this, or is it too early still?
I think so. He's pretty like actually he shares a birthday with Theodore Herzl, the guy who founded Zionism.
Bad omen.
Yeah. But I think
bad
he's
omen.
Like, but I do see similarities. Like he's very very strong-willed, like his mother, and I think he's going to be like,
that's
like
great.
You can't tell him anything. Doesn't he does what he wants to do.
Yeah, I think you. Yeah, I think I watched one of your podcasts recently where it can be like your son can kind of be a little bit combative at sometimes. Like just out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Is it just from like on the playground, I don't want to do this, or is it just it can be kind of anything?
Yeah, I guess he just like he just does.
How old is he now?
Do. He's almost 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the going to bed's easier.
It's easier because my wife sleeps in the bed with him.
Is that like
so she'll just like put him to bed?
Was there ever a fight in that regard where you're like, hey, I don't feel like this is the
I can't really like tell her anything. I can't really like tell her what to do. But I mean, it is.
Do you guys have date nights still?
Yeah, we should do that.
Okay.
It's just so expensive to go on a date.
That is one of the things. Like, it's a kind of running theme of the pod so far. I had Tim Smith on recently. It's like one thing I'm very interested in is the long-term relationship.
Right.
How do you keep it good? How do you keep it?
Well, don't ask me. No, I mean, it's pretty good, but I'm like,
you know what I'm saying? It's like a.
I know. Maybe the theme of the date will be like, let's pretend we're like back in high school, and I'll like take you to Taco Bell and I'll finger you.
You can like you can like tug me off.
Yeah,
after we have like a gordita crunch.
Yeah. We'll sneak into a movie or something.
Oh, like that is kind of like that's role playing a little bit. Like we're younger. Do you guys actually do?
No.
Yeah. No.
I'm just trying to figure because it's like you go out for dinner. That's like at least
that's a couple $100.
A couple $100.
Yeah, sure.
And then you got to get the babysitter.
Oh,
so
everything.
That's like, yeah, she's gonna pay for the babysitter too.
So then you're like,
so that's like $300 to go on a fucking date night.
Yeah, and you're like,
You
well,
I'd rather just get divorced, and I'll give her half of everything I have, which is $200.
Yeah, why don't you just take half and we'll. Yeah, it's a very. I feel like because it's the.
But it's
Tim Smith has a great thing where he says, you can't like part of it is like you can't gain 10% of the weight that you met at. Because that's how you keep things spicy. That's this whole thing. How do you feel about that theory?
Gaining weight?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've definitely gained more weight than.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely have to.
Tim's theory's there's a hole poked in it. So
he's saying like whatever you were when you met.
He says so he was like he said he was 180 pounds. And then he says so he gives himself he's got 18 pounds to play with.
Okay.
And he said if he goes over to that, then he owes it to his fiance
to cheat.
Yeah.
But you do have to like
that should be the new rule.
But you definitely have to like put effort into the relationship and into like keeping your partner happy. And,
I was gonna say,
you gotta be nice.
Yes.
And then the date nights are good if you can swing it.
Date nights, but I was gonna say communication, but it seems like to you communication is not.
No, communication's important.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. But then you also want to have like friends or something that you can tell, because you don't want to like dump all your problems. This is the thing I run into. It's like how much complaining should you do to your wife or girlfriend? Do you let her know like every little thing that's going on, or do you like keep it together?
So when she's like, Mike, how are you? Or does she, if she's like, hey, how are you? Do you say, I'm good?
Right. Because last night I came home and she was like, what's wrong? And I was like, nothing, I'm fine. And I was just thinking about how how groceries are so expensive.
Yeah.
And it's like you make a little money and then you go get groceries and it's like $50.
And you feel like dumping that on her would be a little bit of a.
Yeah. It's just,
I don't need to burden her.
No.
With this.
No.
Okay. That's right. I think that's a good lesson.
Yeah.
For me. Single guy.
Right.
Trying to figure this whole thing out.
Yeah, it's a weird thing where it's like your partner, you want your partner should like be there for you and be a support system.
Yeah.
But also like you don't want to dump everything on them. Because sometimes she'll be like, all we do is talk about you. All we do is talk about you and your problems.
Does she do you feel like you don't get a lot of it back from on her end? Is she not giving you some of her problems? She doesn't
dump her problems on me, no.
Where do you think she...
No.
Yeah,
probably
therapy? Another girl?
Yeah, probably some other guy.
Another dude.
Probably some secret,
secret dude, he's out there.
But she's also not like she's kind of like a busybody.
She's always kind of doing stuff?
Doing stuff, yeah. She's very like proactive.
Before you met your wife, what kind of people did you date? Is your wife aligned with the women that you dated before?
Yeah, I think so.
Like when you were kind of...
I like girls that are like independent.
Sure.
And not like docile.
Oh, really?
I think a lot of women I've dated have been like...
Little heat to them.
Little heat, yeah.
Little
spicy.
Little spice.
like the white version of like a Latina woman, I guess.
Oh.
I don't know. But,
that was your first line?
Yeah.
You know what?
You're kind of like you know who you remind me of? A woman of a different race.
Yeah. You remind me of the Puerto Rican lady down the hall from me who I always had a crush on. Okay, that's great. Yeah, I always feel like it's you can always find like some kind of a through line.
Yeah.
With stuff like that.
Yeah. I have like one friend that I can like complain about my like relationships or like relationships or problems or whatever. He's like a super right wing guy who lives in Florida. But like we both just like bitch about our wives. We complain about our wives and Israel.
Comic or former comic or
I think he might have like dabbled in comedy.
How'd you meet this guy?
Just online. I've never met him in person.
Oh yeah,
but just one of my friends from online. We've just like we're pretty close.
Twitter guy, good dude.
Yeah, we just DM on Instagram. He'll be like, "You won't believe what my fucking wife did today."
Oh wow.
He's like, she spent $700 on bullshit.
Is
Yeah,
that's got to be some of the bigger fights, right? Just like what are you spending the shit on?
Yeah, but my wife should like give me a harder time about that because she like makes pretty decent money.
Sure.
And I lost a lot of money in the stock market over the past like 4 years. And you would think I lost like a good amount of money.
Yeah.
But she's never like complained about it.
How did you tell her?
She's just like, I think I told her like right before Christmas this year.
I think a good way to do is like in passing, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, can you pass the mustard, by the way?
Yeah. I was selling some stocks.
Gone.
Not that much,
Yeah.
but a decent, yeah. But probably like more than 10.
Yeah. But how did you? Yeah, sorry, I interrupted you. How did you?
Oh, I was just like, man, like I should never yell at you about money because I lost so much money in the stock market. Like, I'm surprised we're still together.
If you lost what I lost, I would have divorced you.
I would be so pissed at you if you did this. Yeah. I'm like, I should never give you a hard time about money.
The resiliency, that's great though.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, it's no big deal.
She is very resilient. Yeah.
Let's do another question from the listeners. I try to get to all your guys' questions if I can. If you could be, this is a question I want to re-ask too. If you could be good at something, but no one could ever know about it or see you do it, what would you choose to be good at?
No one could know about it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, what's a sport you can play by yourself?
Golf?
Yeah.
Golf would be sick.
Yeah.
That's actually, yeah, it would be good. If you could be good at something and no one could ever know about it or see you do it.
What's the point of being good at something then? If no one sees you do it.
Maybe
maybe breathing underwater.
Reading.
And everybody's like, what, did you swim here?
You're like, you can't say anything. You're all wet.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Not burning to death. My apartment building burns down. I survive. I'm like flame retardant.
Nobody knows how you survive, and you can't. Yeah. If you could be good at something, no one could ever know about it or see you.
Maybe like super strength would be cool to just, nobody sees
just like
it,
throw a car.
Yeah.
And just
like late at night. Start throwing cars around. They never solve the mystery.
That's good. Yeah, that's a good way. Just like blow off steam. Just pissed at your family.
You're just ripping parking meters out of the ground.
And no one.
You're ripping trees up and like putting it on like somebody's front porch.
Yes.
Someone you don't like.
Right. Yeah. You're ripping trees out. I guess
I would like to rip a tree out of the ground one day. That's kind of my dream, just to know what that. Yeah. Because I bet you could if you're strong enough.
Mike, what are your long-term goals? I don't know. I just would like to uproot.
Wait, it'd be cool if you
kind
could,
of cardinal. Yeah.
But something good. I imagine that's like a skill. Maybe like painting murals. I would just paint murals of myself all over like the ghetto.
and nobody.
Yeah.
Well, like, no, I would just paint. People would know that
they would know. So I would paint murals of like my friends, like you, and
like naked.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
or no,
really
just,
detailed.
So just like murals
just
in the ghetto.
on like bodega like garage doors. I would just say like Alex Dragovich. And they'd be like, "What do you know anything about this?" And you're like, "I have no idea."
I have no idea,
but they're springing up all over the place,
and they're like amazing.
They're
murals.
amazing, yeah.
And people are so like, people are like,
did he die? And you're like, "No, he's right over here."
Is this neighborhood like remembering me in a way? But no, it's just like it's just you, with your friends. Yeah. Who wouldn't even?
Yeah, that'd be cool if you could if you're like a Banksy type.
Yeah, you have like an Instagram account after your because of your skill.
Yeah, and it's like the murals are so good that like you can't. No, people are like, don't paint over it.
Yeah, mine was gonna be like to like read well and like retain information. But I think like ripping,
people would know if you like. What's the point of retaining the information if it's like kept to you?
Well, because then I can. Well, I guess then if I like relay that information that I know, then people are finding out, right?
Then they're finding out.
Okay, so we have to go back to ripping trees out of the
yeah.
You essentially, it's really just kind of it has to be pretty outlandish.
Right.
Yeah, super strength.
Or maybe like sculpting or something. I could just leave sculptures all over the place.
This is inherently like a pretty selfless prompt, right?
Yeah. Like no one would know it was you, but people could see the work.
If you could be good at something, but no one could know about it or see you do it.
Or super speed, but people would know about it. Like if you could fly, but nobody can find out that you can fly.
Like if I would probably like run, like if I could run like 10 miles a day, and I could, that way you can eat whatever you want or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think your thing is better.
Right.
Just like parking meters.
Yeah.
You're just yeah.
Like
yeah,
the principal at my kid's school, I just turned his car over one day.
Yeah. You can just like punt whatever you wanna punt.
Yeah.
What about an instrument maybe? You could that'd be
but
soothing.
then you don't get to like share it with anybody. Yeah.
Right.
You know?
I guess painting murals in the ghetto is kind of tight too.
Yeah.
Connor, do you have an idea for any of this?
No, I think the golf one, it's pretty good.
But
speed reading, I know you couldn't share the information. That also came to mind.
But being great
It's
at
like
golf,
imagine like reading and you're good at retaining information, but then you can't share it. So you just sit down to do the podcast and you're like, "Buh."
you're just I agree with that.
Holes in, what about bowling, I guess? People would see that, right?
Yeah.
And the point of being a good golfer is being like impressive, like around other people.
Mhm.
You know,
I mean, Mike's idea of painting's a good idea because a lot of painters get famous after they die.
Right.
So
I think painting's
maybe
the best one.
painting
woodworking.
in the ghetto specifically was great.
Yeah, I want to inspire people in the. Yeah. I'll put your stats next to your face.
6.6 ppg,
Yeah.
2012. That's
Yeah.
so funny. Yeah, dude, that's a really, I love that prompt, but no one could see you do it. Yeah, it would have to be something selfless. I think that's great.
Or maybe, I don't know, maybe like stamina so that you could go to the gym and you could like, you know,
Right.
you could like work out a lot.
Yeah, I do think, yeah, because no one could see you do it. Yeah, if you worked out a lot in solitude,
Yeah.
and no one saw it, but then you get the gains,
Right. They wouldn't see you be good at working out.
but then they would know about it because
Yeah.
you'd be ripped.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess maybe if you were like great at,
Isn't that kind of antithetical to what talent is? Because isn't talent supposed to be like a gift that you share with the world? So like, I don't know. I can't think of anything unless it's maybe like
yeah,
competitive eating or like eating hot dogs. Like you could just secretly eat 60 hot dogs in a sitting. And no one could ever see.
That would be so painful.
Yeah,
You're
right,
just
right.
sitting there. You ate 60 hot dogs. And you can't tell a soul.
You can't tell a soul.
You
yeah.
broke the record.
and you have colon cancer. No one understands why.
Do you still drink at all? You drink a little bit.
Yeah. Do you?
I'll get drunk. I'll
Yeah.
drink and like,
I love it.
and I'll fucking dump on people. Like I'll
Really?
like, dude, there's a comic in Nashville, and I was gonna ask you about this actually. So there was this comic in Nashville, Lee, great dude, and we got after it one night, and I just started shit.
Wait, let me ask you this.
Sorry.
How much money would you pay for an app where it's like you can it tells you when they talk about you on a podcast?
Oh.
Wouldn't that be cool to know every time you were talked about on a podcast? I think I would pay like $18 a month for that.
You're pretty well
know.
well known in the sphere, in
Yeah.
the New York podcast cinematic universe, I'd
Right.
say.
I know,
It's
but
probably
it just,
more worth it for you.
it just feels so good when you know.
Yeah,
when you get those little
you think it's
shout-outs.
shit talking or nice things.
I want to know all of it.
Yeah,
I want to know everything everyone thinks about me.
That's kind of like a philosophical question to pose, though. Like, would you want to know just podcasts or everything that people are saying about you? That would kind of
I
be
think
brutal.
everything, because but it's like I don't know. You can still, if it's what they think, then you know.
Yeah.
It's like it's either true or it's not.
Like you get like a morning update. Here's what everyone said about you yesterday.
Yeah.
That would crush me.
Do you know that comic Pat Cooper?
I don't think so. No.
He said like he's like an older Italian comic. Yeah, my favorite comedian. I'm quoting
Your beloved.
quoting other. Yeah. But he was like, you never offend when you tell the truth.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So somebody says like, Mike Racine's a little ADD or
Sure.
Mike Recine is dramatic.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like it doesn't really bother me because it probably is true.
But it's also the thing too where it's like, if your friend gets off stage and you're like, did I bomb? Like you don't need to be like, "Oh, that was a bomb." You can be like, it was all right.
Don't you want to know if you bombed?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Because I saw a couple people the other night. I was at a show and I saw a few people like bomb.
Sure.
Like there were two people who did like really poorly, and then a third guy went up after them and just like couldn't turn the room around.
Ooh.
And so I'm watching this guy and I'm thinking like, okay, this guy's competent, but I think he's a little bit boring.
Of course. Yeah.
So if you were a boring comedian,
Yeah.
wouldn't you want to know? So you stop dedicating your life to.
Yeah, you'd want people at least to be like giving you notes and being like, "Hey, you got to here's some things you want to."
Yeah.
But that's why you got the close friend. You got like
Yeah.
close. I got close friends who I think I can go to for honest feedback.
Right.
But with that thing with Lee, like in Nashville, here's the thing that like really was fucking with me.
Yeah.
We had that night, and I'm fucking just like shit talking like a ton of people that like we were whatever, and I'm just like drunk, like going off, just kind of spouting off on certain comics, and it was one of those things that like
that is fun though.
But just like every couple weeks after that, I had like one of those, I don't know what those moments are called, like flashback moments where like you just kind of like you kind of shake your head almost. What are those called, Connor? Do you know what I'm saying? It's like.
No, I'm blanking too.
It's like the thoughts, something bad thoughts, the
regrets.
It's just like you have a thought in the shower, something happens and you're like, oh man, why the fuck did I do that? Yeah. And it was one of those things where it was like I had a why'd I do that with this guy, with this comic for months. Then I ran into him in Chicago. We were randomly there in the same night, and I was like, dude, like I was like kind of really fucking up that night, and he was like, haven't thought about it. Just never really. And I don't know if he has or not, but do you feel like you have moments like that where you kind of overthink maybe that more people have like forgotten about, or like I guess like kind of like a cringe moment, I suppose, where you're like, fuck, I
think so, but they're mostly from like over 10 years ago.
When you,
so I'm sure 10 years from now I'll be having those moments.
When you had less of a handle on like all the shit.
I think so.
Were you hooking up with comics at all?
Yeah.
Would you endorse that?
I mean, who else? I mean,
yeah,
it's there.
If it's there, it's there.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's toxic?
It's like if you drive by a Taco Bell if there's a Taco Bell on your way home from work.
Yes. There's some people, like some people say like if you're single, you're gonna end up with hooking up with a comic every now and then. But
yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I mean, like people, like funny people are drawn to each other, and I really like comics a lot.
Have you full on dated a comic?
Yeah, one for like a year and a half when I was like in my early 20s.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, she was like 7 years older than me. We like lived together and everything.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Which is like, yeah, I guess kind of weird, but it was kind of like good. It was a good relationship to be in because you like learn a lot really fast.
Yeah, dude. Another solid.
It was like a crash course.
What was it like, cooking and dating shit, like on, or just like
no,
how to be a
like,
good boyfriend and
like how? Yeah. Like I sped run a relationship in like a year and a half.
Oh,
and then I walked away being like, oh, okay, that's all the stuff I did.
You're like, it was kind of like an I'm a man now.
Yeah. It's like it's like we met, we dated, I fumbled it, and then it shaped my perspective on relationships for like a long time.
All you really learned was just how to eat a girl out.
It's
just you walking out like just being like, yeah, I'm fucking ready for the universe.
Yeah.
I'm ready for all this shit. Actually, we got a good question from a listener. This is from Fauci's Flying AIDS Monkey Circus.
Okay.
These are our listeners, folks. He goes, he goes, I asked this before, and now for Mike. Do you ever regret saying anything on a podcast? And are you a fan of any bands in particular? I think that's a great question.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure. Like, I'm sure there's stuff, but it's like we're all trying to be, we're all trying to be funny. We're all trying to get close to the line.
Yes.
We're all trying to play, figure out where the line is and,
of course.
And get close to it. And sometimes you overstep.
Yes, we've missed on this podcast 1,000 times.
You get fired from Saturday Night Live, and then you become the biggest comedian in the world.
Yes,
so
that's how it goes. Yeah, is there? I guess asking him what he regrets saying on a podcast, we're not going to get you to regurgitate saying that. So. Not a great question, actually, in hindsight.
Because you'd have to be like,
what's the worst thing you've ever said?
What's funny is like,
look into the camera and say the worst thing you ever said on a pod. But yeah.
Oh, I don't want to say.
No, yeah, definitely don't. But what about any bands? Any bands you like?
Yeah. I like a lot of bands. I like, let's see.
Anyone new lately or that you got into?
I saw Hall & Oates.
Fuck.
In concert, like a couple years. I brought my kid when he was a baby.
Wow. They still got it?
Fun. Yeah, I think so.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Counting Crows I've been getting into.
Fuck, dude. Dude, this is a Crows pod.
Really?
Dude, this is like one of my college friends got me into them like only a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
I had never really done a proper dive into August and everything after, and I'm just like,
okay. Oh, the album, yeah.
Yeah, that's like the
I gotta
best
listen
album.
More out. Really?
Yeah, like the August and everything after is just like
is Long December on there?
Long December's on the next album, or maybe 2 albums after that. But that song's just
Yeah, because I feel like people don't really. Maybe I'm wrong, but you don't hear a lot of sad songs anymore. Or am I wrong?
Well, I think it's like the sad songs are like they're brought to us by like Bieber, and he's like, I miss your eyes or whatever. He just says some bullshit, and you're like, well, I don't really I don't like how I want my sad songs to be from like an ugly 45-year-old guy,
right?
I want my sad songs to be from somebody who's really been in it.
Yeah.
When Justin Bieber has Heartbreak, it's like there's like the second hottest woman in the world. He gets dumped by the hottest woman. The second hottest woman's like, well, I'll be with you.
Yeah.
So that's not real.
Yeah.
Drake.
I like Hank Williams Jr. a lot.
Oh, I'm not as well versed. I know a lot of guys are. He's country, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
And he just sings about like being a fuck up.
Yes,
which is cool.
That's dope. Yeah.
You don't hear that a lot anymore.
Yeah, because it's either it's like hyper like bravado.
Yeah.
But again, like I don't believe when Drake says he misses a girl. I don't believe that. You're having orgies with like whoever you want.
Right.
You don't miss anyone.
Yeah.
You have. I don't believe that a guy with that much money can be sad. Is that crazy? It's probably a little overblown.
Maybe.
Do you have a number that would be like you'd be like, I think that'd be pretty.
I don't know. I mean, if my wife left, I'd be really sad.
No. Oh, I thought because I was like,
you thought I'd be happy?
I thought I was asking like, do you have a number? Is there a number that would make you happy? Like, like a monetary number.
I'm saying no amount of money could replace my wife.
Oh, I thought you were saying, well, if my wife left, that'd be great.
No. Yeah,
do you feel like you have to hold off from doing comedic like my wife material? Do you ever feel like, oh, this is just, or is it just kind of? Or is this kind of your life?
I don't have like that much. Yeah, it is my life.
Because it's your life. Because you'd think. Do you feel, or maybe more of like an empathetic? Do you feel a little more understanding for those '80s guys being like, my wife's a fucking, or what, or maybe, or is it all kind of?
I think boomers had like a weird, like the boomer like I hate my wife stuff is weird to me.
Lame.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but I guess they were just all doing it. They were all just like, my wife is a fucking whore.
My wife's a whore, and I never really.
I mean, you got to put effort into your relationship, and like
Yes,
I think millennial guys are a little like nicer to their wives. Hopefully,
I think we are too.
I think it was like part of the culture. It was like cool to be like, oh, my bitch wife.
My wife sucks.
But that's lame.
I agree, but I'm single guy. It's easy for me to say. You're in the trenches. You're in a real relationship.
I'm in the trenches, but you can still like, you could still put effort. It doesn't. It costs nothing to be like, hey, you look beautiful today or whatever.
Wow.
Or like,
it costs nothing. Look at this, guys. We're gonna clip that up. We're gonna zoom in on you with like Sheryl Crow playing.
Good.
It's gonna be great.
Good.
I do want to ask that. I had this conversation with Andy Haynes a couple nights ago. First off, how's your hair? Your hair. You still got some.
Yeah, I guess
it's good.
I don't like to think about it.
Are you doing? I think about my hair every day now.
Yeah, you're like your hairline.
Yeah, my hairline.
Because I started going gray at like I think like 21. I started turning gray.
Oh, geez. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, I think I'm gonna do minoxidil. I think Hims.
Okay.
If my listeners have anything to say about this, it just hit me where it just for some reason you think you have a good hairline for a while, and then
you think you have a good hairline. Yeah.
And then it just one day you're like, oh, like it's all.
And then you see yourself on camera. My wife put me in her Instagram story. We were at like a soccer party. I was running around with some kids.
Yeah.
And she was like in her Instagram story, and I watched the Instagram story. I like didn't recognize myself. I'm like, this is like who's this like overweight old man?
Yeah, in a tracksuit.
So, yeah.
No, it is that shit. It happens super quickly. Andy was saying minoxidil is the key.
But, okay.
He says that's a good like prevention. Connor, are you on that stuff at all? I don't know how your hair is.
I use rosemary. Rosemary oil does a similar thing.
Okay. Rosemary, like from like your cabinet.
It's an oil, so it's not just like the herb.
Like Mike cooks with rosemary.
Right.
He makes great meals
I've
for
seen
his
a
wife
little
and
bit
family.
of baby hair growth on my head.
Really?
Yeah, there's a person who moved into the building that works with hair. I told her about it. She confirmed it's a good choice.
Rosemary oil. Huh.
But then aren't receding hairlines kind of in now? Because of Walton Goggins? No?
I don't think so.
That's what I heard. But they do kind of look good. But I think that is the best way to lose your hair. It's better to lose the front than the back. You don't want like a bald spot.
Right. No, I think I'm all set back here, but I can see it going. Yeah, do you think women can put up with a receding
I think that's the best way to lose your hair.
I hope so.
I hope so too.
Women, comment. Let us know how we're doing.
I think they like receding hairlines.
I've been told because I'm tall, if I just buzz it, I'll be okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's why if you keep it short, it looks okay.
I think as long
it
as
looks like a Bruce Willis look. You look like Bruce Willis.
I think we talked about this.
That's what I tell my barber. I say, make me look like Bruce Willis.
Yeah. He's always like, can you not say that? Yeah. I think I'm going to I think the closest I'll get is I might have like a Ben Bailey look in my future.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I think that's got that kind of.
But then some people who get the hair transplants, it doesn't look that good. It's like, they did it. It looks unnatural. It looks like Botox.
I worry about that too as well. It seems like it can be. Because then wherever you don't get it, you go bald there. Yeah. If you don't, I don't know. It's it's very strange.
Yeah.
It's something that I've been thinking about more and more. I'll probably talk about hair loss every episode for the rest of the way.
Like sometimes because I know my hairline's receding a little bit.
Sure.
But then there's times that I'm comfortable with it, but then there's other times when I'm like, oh, I think I just lost a bunch in like the past week.
Do you ever catch it like in the shower at all?
No.
Some guys do that.
Really?
I haven't really caught it like that, but some guys say that. That's a big sign. Let's do. I want to do another question from a listener, EBB. He, you can swat this one away if you don't want to answer it. That's fine. What's a conspiracy theory that you believe?
That I believe?
Yeah.
I believe this is actually kind of a fun one.
Oh.
And I like sharing this, but I kind of believe that Obama killed Bernie Mac to make black men less masculine.
Can you elaborate?
Or men in general. Yeah. So
okay. Great.
So in I think like 2009.
Yeah.
Bernie Mac did a fundraiser for Obama.
Yeah.
And he told this joke. He told this like street joke where it's like, Mom, would you have sex for $1 million? Like a kid asks his mom, like, would you have sex for $1 million? And his mom's like, yeah. And then he's like, would you have sex for $1? And he's like, well, she's like, what do you think I am? And he's like, well, you already said you'd have sex for money. Now we're just like negotiating or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like a street. But then he got like booed. And then Obama came on after him. He was like, Bernie, I think you need some new material.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I think that like, I kind of believe that like, Bernie Mac like made Obama look bad.
Oh, okay.
And then Obama had him killed. But also because I do feel like Bernie Mac was kind of masculine in a way that nobody really is on TV.
And you think Obama, if he was already doing drone strikes at that point.
Yeah.
What's Bernie Mac
Yeah.
to
20,000? Obama was like,
20,000?
I need to usher in an era of like soy millennials.
Oh, yeah. I guess that would make sense. He
had to kill like the best role model for young men.
Right.
Which was Bernie Mac.
He's a Chicago guy too as well. That kind of hurts. So that actually plays into the more like why he wouldn't kill him.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, he's a Chicago guy. I would never kill him.
Right.
But yeah, I can see Obama having a bit of a softer side. I want some more soy boys around here.
Yeah.
Bernie Mac. Who should I take out?
Yeah.
Who should I kill?
I just think there's something about Bernie Mac where he was like,
such a funny guy
on his show. He was such a funny guy, but like he was like a traditional, but he was like a traditional man, but not in like not in one of these like Andrew Tate type of ways.
Sure.
Where it's like he had a sense of humor about himself, and like he was very funny, but he was also like, he was like traditional in that sense.
Yeah.
Where
do you feel like some guys now? Do you feel like that reaction? Do you think the Andrew Tate stuff is the reaction to
Bernie Mac being killed?
to whatever like some of the more softer stuff from a few. I don't know. I feel like there was like a pretty big feminist movement. Do you think this men's
maybe, but it's like
is,
the wrong way.
Guys are going in.
It's not the way.
Guys are the whole 4 a.m. this. I do 100 push-ups. I don't need a woman. I don't come. Like I don't masturbate.
Yeah.
It's like, dude. It's like, just take it deep. I feel like that. I feel like it's a little bit much. Probably.
It seems like there's a lot of stuff out there that they want like men and women divided. Like it's I don't know. It's somehow beneficial if they can keep. If you can tell men that the women are like the problem.
Right. Well, it seems like on both it seems like from that content, it seems like the content forms are coming in. The message is the same, and I can explain where it's like I feel like a lot of like female content is like you don't need a man, make the man go after you. He's got to chase you. He needs to pursue you. And then male,
but then
content,
the male stuff is like
it's the same thing.
They're gold diggers, and they're gonna
and she's got to pursue you. She's got to be like she's got to go after you.
Yeah,
we're both. I feel like men and women we're both being told not to chase.
Yeah, and not to enjoy each other.
Right. And now now everyone's like, well, you're just well, I'm not going to chase you, and the other person's like, well, I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Chase,
and that's why Gen Z is just on the computer, not having sex.
Dude, I can like confirm this.
Yeah.
Like I was at a club. I was at a comedy club doing a weekend, and the staff. So you know how bar staff for the last however long we've been doing this or whatever. Traditionally, bar staff are like, you want to go out? Let's get fucked up. Let's do lines. Let's hang out. Let's have a good time after shows.
Yeah.
The bar staff at this club I was at, they're all like 22 to 26. And after the show, each night, Friday and Saturday, both shows, they sit in a booth and they all play like Civilization, or they play some board game.
Settlers of Catan?
Yeah, I think they play Catan.
That's cool though.
Yeah, but it's like, what about... I guess like I'm at least
they're like socializing and hanging out with each other.
Yeah, like they're like they all smoke weed and like do edibles.
Yeah.
And they play Catan.
Yeah.
And there's no so like I was talking to the manager.
Do you think they're like hooking up with each other?
I don't know. I guess like can Catan like put you in the mood to?
I don't know. I've never played.
Can you be like, wow, you took my land?
yeah.
Gary.
Yeah.
Why don't you come over
colonize
here?
this pussy?
you colonize this pussy later, Gary.
Yeah.
It's like they're so high they can't see. maybe that's what it is. They're getting so high, like they're getting maybe the kids they're getting in the way that like we used to get drunk. They might be getting like hot, so high that they're like. But the manager of the club was like, "This is so much better than it was in like 2015." Because 2015, he's like, I had to like fire people. They were like, you know, fucking. They were the inmates were running the asylum to a degree. But now, all these like so you'll go to comedy clubs in like college towns, and like the Thursday nights where there's a lot of college kids supposed to come, like hype, super docile crowds, super like. Kids are drinking less. Kids are like very health forward, which is a good thing in one way. Shows aren't as good. Yeah. But it's interesting that like these kids, they're only like, for at least me, like I'm 33. Yeah. These, you know, they're probably, you know, 10 years younger than me, maybe 8 years younger than me. And they're just fully like, you know, it's a Friday night, 11:30 midnight. And they're like, yeah, let's just play Catan and like drink.
That's cool. I mean, but going to like a crowded bar where you have to shout over people, and I don't know, it's like kind of whack to me.
No, it's always been
like going to a club or something. I was never like into that.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe we just like we always fucking like not romanticized the like hard
Going
partying,
out,
but like it was always like those nights you would just get home and like throw up.
Yeah.
There wasn't like it wasn't like a fun.
No.
You know, it was maybe doing a little Catan.
Yeah.
Those kids are going to live longer, which is good. But yeah, I was like, I was wondering like
anytime I was at any kind of like frat party or whatever, I just remember thinking like, get me out of here. It's not for me.
Dude. Yeah. It's always, those are always like the club stuff. I haven't done that in years. I haven't done anything like that. Yeah. I guess like now that you're like in family mode, you just being at like a bar on a Friday night, that's a little bit of like a
it's like
I'm being kind of naughty,
rebellious. Yeah.
What are you ordering then at the like on a night where you're like, I'm gonna blow off some steam?
Yeah.
What does that look like for you when you're like, I don't have to worry about the kid, my wife's got the kid, I have this night to myself? As a dad, newish dad, not newish dad, but you're a dad. What does that look like now?
I guess like a couple whiskeys on the rocks.
Are you at home? Are you meeting up with somebody? Are you getting dinner?
I'm at a bar by myself. I'm at a bar by myself drinking whiskey and like scrolling through Twitter and like tweeting. And I'll like drunk tweet and then I'll like close my phone and wake up the next morning and like see how I did. And sometimes I'll have like some stuff that does pretty well.
So it's just like so your wife would be like, "Hey, I got the kid, do whatever you want." And you're like, "Oh man, I've been waiting for this night. I can't wait to do this."
Yeah.
I'm going to go to what kind of whiskey?
Watch Instagram stories.
Makers?
No, Makers is trash.
Oh.
It's not good. Do you like it?
I'm not. I guess I'm not a whiskey kind of. I guess that shows how much I know about whiskey. I like
you
Makers.
Do. Okay.
So I guess I don't know as Four Roses.
Yeah, Four Roses is good.
Okay,
and that's like it's like a lower end.
Yeah, I see. That's how like little I know. So I might need a little more schooling. But yeah, what's your
Buffalo Trace is good.
Buffalo Trace is good. I've had that. Yeah.
Elijah Craig is good. It's a little higher end.
But. You know what the thing is too? It's like a really good whiskey. You don't really get that bad of a hangover.
Yeah,
that's kind of the secrets. That's kind of
it's expensive,
sauce.
But then sometimes like the bill comes and it's like $38. You're like, what did I just do?
Dude, yeah.
This is groceries.
Oh yeah, no.
So I think you should go like whiskey. You should like whiskey on the rocks, and then maybe like a beer, like a whiskey and a beer that could get you a nice little.
Dude.
Yeah, and I like like you don't see these as much, but I like drinking porters. Those like dark.
Oh sure.
Those like real dark beers.
Yeah,
they're pretty cool.
I just got into like because
everybody drinks IPA,
like a red or like
red
an amber. God, no, but a darker beer. There's a beer that I had. Like, there's always I don't know what kind of beer it is, but every time around the winter, like I always get a winter lager, no matter where I am.
Yeah,
and I'm always like, and I don't know what kind of beer that is.
Right.
But to me, like that, it's darker, and it always hits.
Yeah.
For me, I would drink those year round if I knew what the fuck It was like there's like my favorite beer is this like a Hefeweizen called Julius Ector,
Okay.
and I don't even know how to like find something comparable. It's like
Interesting.
I always like a
That's like a wheat beer.
yes.
Those are kind of interesting because they're like that's like I feel like a lot of people's introductory to beer,
I know,
like
dude.
the Blue Moon because you get like a little.
I'll always ride for Blue Moon.
Really? Because I think Blue Moon's kind of like disgusting. Now.
People hate on Blue Moons.
Yeah.
I've been like I'm on like my own planet with Blue Moons, and it's just all people say it's like a college beer essentially.
Right.
I disagree. I tend to disagree.
Okay.
But yeah, I think the whiskey stuff is like what I got to get back into it, man.
It's good. Yeah.
It's great shit. Let's do it. Let's do another question from a listener, man.
Cool.
Then we'll wrap this bad boy up soon. Let's do. I love this question. I think I'm gonna ask this maybe once an episode. What do you wish you cared less about?
I don't know.
This is from Sean O'Brien. Always got to shout him out.
Not Gaza. I'm always gonna care about. I'm always gonna
be vocal about Gaza.
I think.
The only 2 cents I'm gonna have, because like this has been a not necessarily gonna be an Izzy P podcast like kind of in the way we had before, but I think whenever far right wing people are agreeing with left wing people,
yeah, something's going on.
I think something is probably going on.
Yeah,
when you have like
something really bad,
when you have like
on.
Tucker Carlson, like just being like, hey, like this is pretty fucked up, and agreeing with students at Columbia, something's probably fucked up.
Even like Matt Walsh was like, why are we backing Israel?
Like
one of the worst
guy,
the worst guy
on earth.
Yeah.
When that stuff starts to happen, you're like, okay, well, this is all.
Somebody's got to, Nick Fuentes,
sure.
Although I do find him pretty funny.
Yes,
he was going off about buffalo chicken, and it was making me laugh really hard.
So there's nothing specifically you can say you wish
I cared less about.
I know it's a crazy question.
Yeah, I guess like there's something about. I guess I wish I cared, even though I don't make like that much money. But I think that like getting down on yourself about money or whatever, or holding yourself to these like certain standards is like a waste of time and energy.
Okay.
And like I feel like we're inundated with a lot of like or at least my feed is like people being like it's a lot of like financial stuff.
Oh.
Guys being like, you can't be broke or you should should kill yourself. Right. And I always like I would always like I always need more money.
Of course. Yeah.
But I think that like if you get down on yourself about it,
sure.
If you let people make you, I don't like when I see somebody on stage and they're talking about like how they're like a loser.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm like, you should either fix it or like accept that you can't accept that it's out of your control.
I do think that it's also,
and like I wish I got down on myself less.
Of course, yeah. It's I think that's a younger comic thing to do, to be like, to talk about that, because you can't entertain an audience for 45 minutes talking about how much you suck.
Yeah.
Or it just gets weird. It gets weird over time.
And isn't it more interesting to like be a loser but you think that you're not? Isn't that like a funnier choice?
Yeah.
To be feeling yourself as you're fucking up. That's like a funny character.
To think that
you're the shit
the
when
world
you're not.
is your oyster, but you're like just kind of you can't nothing's really going your way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
I think people will like root for you if you like no one wants to hear you get down on yourself. You know?
Yeah. No, yeah, they don't want, because then it gets a little too real. You know, because like guys go on, there's like, there's fucking guys like, they go on stage and they're just like, my fucking, I had to borrow money from this guy or whatever. Like, I don't have, and it just, you can feel the audience being like not resonating. Yeah. You can talk about like,
it can be kind of cathartic.
Money. Yeah. Sure. But it's like, if you like guys who get into being like, guys who have premises being like, I have $110 $6 in my bank account,
Mhm.
you can feel the audience being like, that's probably real.
Yeah.
And now we're not like happy anymore. You know?
Yeah.
We're like
Like I have a friend who's like a funny he's a young guy and he's a funny comic, but he like does get down on himself a lot.
Sure.
You know, like on stage and off stage too. But it's like if you could just like change your thinking and just be like, I'm a funny guy, I'm young, I live in New York City, I'm working hard and I'm doing comedy.
Yeah.
And just like and find a way to like love yourself. I think more people need to love. And as like corny as that sounds,
Yeah.
I think you got to find a way to like love yourself, and then more people will. People will love you.
Was there a come to Jesus moment, for lack of a better term, for you to be like? Was there like a life moment for you where you were like, okay, I gotta.
I don't know. I'm still kind of working on it.
Was there a reframing there?
Yeah.
But
yeah, I think it's like powerful to, you know, to be. That's why people love like Lizzo so much, you know, because they're like, look at her, she's
enormous.
Yeah, she's enormous, but she's like she likes herself.
Do you think if you
they're like this she shouldn't like herself?
Well, I was gonna say, like, do you think if you embraced yourself in the way in the way Lizzo did, how do you think that would be perceived? You know?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like I don't think I could because everything.
Like, if you just took a bunch of pictures with your shirt off all the time,
or
whatever. Like if you gained 20 pounds,
should I gain 20 pounds
and then take pictures with your shirt off, and then you were like, I can't be stopped. Do you think people would be?
No, they probably wouldn't. No, but I think certain people could.
Do you think people would be like, Mike's doing kind of like a Lizzo thing? Like we should be. That's kind of. But this is so Lizzo coded, Mike.
Yeah.
You know, but
I just don't think it helps to get down on yourself.
I agree. Yeah. And I'm making a joke about you.
But you're right. But some people do. Yeah, you can go overboard with it and do it too much.
Yeah, it is. It's totally. That's a really good point. Yeah, it's.
But everybody loves like Stavros. Nobody looks at Stavros and goes like, "Cover up, you fucking pig." They're like, "Oh, this is cool. Oh, good for him."
Yeah,
you know. Oh, he's very comfortable with himself.
He seems like a guy he'll acknowledge like I probably should lose some weight.
Yeah,
but then he won't.
Yeah,
and then everything's cool. But
he might. But he's trying. He's working out.
Sure,
he's like
sure.
But,
but it's like he's like owning the thing. I guess if you own it, if you love yourself no matter what. Okay, I think that's good to go into the Patreon. We'll talk.
Cool.
We're gonna talk. We're gonna get into some, some
gossip.
We're gonna get into some gossip on the Patreon. If you guys know us at all, we're gonna get into maybe what you think we might get into, and
you gotta give them something behind the paywall.
Yeah, it's gonna be good shit. Mike, where can people find you? We're gonna
share my wife's body count.
Yes, that's what the people want, and second kid in the works.
Yeah, June.
Fuck,
I got another boy coming.
A boy.
Yeah.
Happy? You pumped about that? Like the
yeah,
did you want a girl?
Or? Yeah, I did want to. Yeah, I did. But that's all right.
It's good to admit.
You get what you get.
You get what you. It's like it's
one will be trans for sure if we're raising them in Brooklyn.
It's like a waiter saying like, oh, we don't have any. No, we don't have the walleye today.
You go, oh damn. All right, whatever.
Well, whatever. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Where can people find you, Mike?
I got a new show out. It's called Recine Time.
Yes.
And like, it is just another podcast, but I'm trying to make something that's like part talk show, part sitcom, part, sketch show, part podcast. Yeah. So I've been having some fun with that. I'm trying some things.
I've caught a couple episodes
recently.
It's just hilarious, guys.
Thanks.
Check it out. Check out my Recine Time, and are you on the dates on the website or
MikeRacineComedy.com. If you're I don't know when this comes out, but
this will be next week, next Monday.
Next week. So I got Fargo, I got Tulsa, I got Austin, I got Boston and Portland, Maine, and Tampa.
There we go.
So
folks.
MikeRacineComedy.com for all those dates.
Follow the guy. One of the funniest ever. Yeah, we're about to wrap this bad boy up and go to the Patreon. You've been an idiot for listening. Good night and good luck. Thank you.
Peace.